right, well, I'm going to make it short and sweet. The stats, there's not a whole lot to really, brag about on the stat sheet other than that score. And, our ability to, thought the night was just really about kind of persevering, getting out of our own way, between turnovers and penalties. Some things that you'd like to get back as coaches at times. Our guys are just able to figure it out and find a way. The stat sheet's kind of grimy. That's what the stat sheet is, and it's really the DNA of, again, who we are. And we talked about, 5 weeks ago in our team meeting after the Ole Miss game, and, obviously it's not a very positive mood initially. The guys come in and it's really quiet, and we kind of a circle the wagon moment and just try to instill confidence in who we are. We lost a tough game that night against a really good football team. We had our opportunities, and the game teaches you a lot of hard, tough lessons. And and I'm not really one to put the cart before the horse, but put a big graphic on the screens that had an ESPN playoff simulator or whatever percentages if the Sooners go 4-0 in their last 4 regular season games, what the chances are, and it was like 92%. And I'm not really like that, like, oh, let's look up there, but I think our guys needed a kind of a shot in the arm and something the vision for what is in front of us if we just put our head down and go have a great Monday practice. We have good self-awareness about the areas and that we need to improve and clean up. And again, where we really felt like this team, if we did the things that we needed to do, both sides of the ball, kicking game included, what we could accomplish. And I know it was at the moment kind of unthinkable for a lot of people, but thankful that our players that day, they made a decision. And what a cool story that they have. The narrative wasn't always on their side, and they had to kind of fight through that, as well. But to be able to share in this moment with them, and I just have so much appreciation and respect for our players. Our staff takes them too. Staff's got to buy in and believe, in the opportunity too. Believe in themselves, believe in the opportunity, believe in each other, and then willing to, again, it still takes action. The words are just words, and the graphic is just a graphic. And this team is about action. And even in the game tonight, when it didn't look very good for the good guys, they were able to overcome a couple of interceptions to start the second half, and we just grinded away. And, a couple 3-and-outs. We hit a big play. What a cool moment. Isaiah Sategna was pretty special. He is somebody on the stat sheet that looks pretty dang good. 9 catches, 60-yard touchdown, and the return. What a huge play that was. Grayson Miller, again, 7 punts and almost 50 yards a punt. I think he set a single-season record, 23 punts of 50-plus yards. Just a room full of a bunch of misfits, and they believe, and they're kind of grimy, and they like it. They like it. So we'll see what is in front of us right now. We're going to take a couple of days off, get a couple of lifts in. We'll have a couple of young guys practices, 12-period practices, and get our bodies and our minds and our spirits where they need to be. But, man, I'm super thankful to be their coach. And, man, they just got the right stuff, all the stuff that you can't put a price on. You can't put a measuring stick on. These guys got it. So that'll open it up for questions.
Talk about the quarter.
I'm sorry, John's fourth quarter, after the tough game that he had, how inspiring was that for him to come out and do that in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. He threw for over 300 yards, and ran the ball. A lot of it didn't look like a whole lot, but he took shot after shot, blow after blow, and he kept responding. And thankful that, he's got the right kind of toughness and the resolve and the resiliency to believe there at the end. And he's done that in several of the games. You guys got all the stats and the storylines of several other games against really good people in the fourth quarter where he put a drive together. We made some plays, when we needed to that were the difference in the game, and he did it again, here tonight. And we really took the whole game to compliment, one another, but we finally did.
Consider going to the bullpen there when he was struggling like that?
No. I mean, that doesn't have anything to do with anybody else, but no, I believe in John and what he's got. Absolutely.
Brent, when you get the lead, what are you thinking about when you get the lead?
Open?
What?
How did Isaiah get that wide open?
I'm not sure. I don't know if they had a combo coverage and it was one of those, and I thought and he thought. I have no idea. Shake and bake, I guess. I don't know.
You get the lead, your defense comes out. Your defense has stoned them most of the day. They had the one drive, but you get the lead. What are you thinking? Tell us about that sequence with 4:12 to go in the game.
The last drive?
Yes.
I'm glad they burned a couple timeouts, all right? And if we can create some negative plays here within the drive and be smart about it, didn't have them in the same situation that we had them in maybe the previous drive when we didn't have the lead, and we were able to go 3 and out. So I'm like, this drive is dramatically different. And when we got them to, we were trying to we were going to call a timeout there on 3rd and medium, see what they're in, and then they saved us from having to do that, and they used their own. And then he kind of scrambled for a couple yards there, and we got him down. I'm like, oh, we got him. I'm saying this super humbly, but we worked really hard on what was going to go down on 4th and short, 4th and 1, 4th and 2, 4th and 3, each one of those scenarios. And it's like, oh my gosh, we had the right personnel, right everything, and we didn't do the little things right when we played Ole Miss in the same situation. We were a little off, and they executed in the same situation to basically seal and win the game. And here we are again 5 weeks later, and we were just better. We pulled up those plays all week. This is what they're watching. 4th down, you gonna go win the game? I'd like to think that we're gonna blow somebody out. Nope. It's just not our luck, or not in the cards, or not in the league, and all that kind of stuff. Respectfully saying, to LSU, but we worked really hard on that scenario, that situation, to win the game. We were walking through last night. It was getting a little chatter going on, just a little bit loose, and I'm standing back watching everybody, and I blow the whistle. My whistle on me at the hotel, and challenge you guys. You guys want to win the game? There ain't another time. This is the one time to get the details down one last time to go win the freaking game on this side of the ball. This is the moment. All right. So get your eyes where they belong. Now I know everybody's good. Nobody trying to murder nobody or anything, but this is the moment to freaking lock in, have laser focus, and they did. Finished up in a great way, and then. The moment came to, fruition, and, man, we had a lot of cool moments tonight, a lot of cool moments where we're just punching back in all 3 phases, and the defense was just, again, was relentless, our D-line, Grayson Halton, man, just, y'all love how he plays. He juices everybody up, and just, energizes the whole football team, and just the way the defense plays. Peyton Bone was spectacular, to answer that with that interception right after the interception. What a play. I don't know how good the throw was or whatever, but, man, we made the play. Sometimes you got to get lucky. And had the PBU there, 6 tackles, just all over the place. Man, these guys are a lot of fun to be around. And I'm super, super, again, proud of them.
Do you ever talk to your offense the way you just described talking to your defense?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I'm trying to make sure I don't. I challenged the offense last night. That was really my presentation to the team. And, a good part of it was being who we're capable of being, who we've shown to be. We got to get out of our own way and do the things that we've done this year to win. And they've shared in every single win, making plays and making critical conversions and doing the things that we needed to do. And I just wanted to reaffirm them, how to block, how to strain, how to run, how to throw, how to catch. You're going to have to make those competitive plays, and we've done it. And maybe not as much as we want, but we have done it when we've had to. And so, but absolutely, we had a short yardage play there at midfield, and we didn't do the things we were supposed to do within that play to give us the conversion. And felt if we had done, you had two options there, and I don't like having two options. I like having one option, and because this game's too hard. Take it out of the players' hands and just one thing. Let's get good at it. And anyway, that's neither here nor there, but absolutely, and that's that's the side of the ball that has had a few more injuries, and they've had a bunch of new guys, and the things that they've been able to do at the times they've been able to do it is really is great. And there's plenty of things that, man, we got to keep getting better. I hate saying it, feel like it's a broken record, but it is. And in some ways, there's plenty of it that wasn't good enough, and could have lost the game because of the mistakes that we made in this game. But when you're good enough, you can. Again, I don't think it's an act of God. I think when you're good enough, you can find a way to overcome it, and we did.
Brent, do you feel like this team deserves a home playoff berth?
I don't even know what that means. I just love an invitation, and I don't care if it's on the road or it's here. I say I don't care. Of course, I would love it to be here, but I've spent no time looking at that, and I'm going to fight for this or that. I don't know. They're not listening to me. There's plenty of things to look at for them to make the decisions they make. I'm sure it's not easy, and wherever they ask us to play, we'll show up.
Do you feel like the offense was maybe just pressing to start the game? And you talked about the last 4 games, heading to 4-0. You feel like, how much do you think that prepares you guys for the playoff? Because you guys were essentially in kind of a round-robin playoff throughout the last half of the year because you had to win just to get in.
Yeah, well, for anything, we're comfortable when it ain't going great. When it's tight, I think that this is a team that has poise in those moments, being battle-tested. I think there's confidence in the things that we've had to go through and overcome. Again, the teams that we're playing have the ability to punch back, so it's not like we're going against a bunch of chumps. We're going against good players, or elite coaches. And this is a team that, again, as we described them, they know how to find a way in these moments and just keep playing, keep throwing punches back. And certainly it's prepared us, every one of these miscues that you have to overcome, and we are able to overcome. I think it just it strengthens you. Those scars, are things that you lean on.
Brent, I remember last year after the LSU game, you told us foundationally how disappointing it was last season, and you guys were going to look at everything, and said last week that you saw the first signs of this team being what they are last year. How satisfying is it now, looking back, to see how far this group has come?
Yeah, man, no doubt. We, in the locker room, we talked about that a lot. We've been talking about it, and we talked about last night. Certainly, we had, 25 seniors that we recognized, and the things that several of those guys have been through. Good part of them have been through. You're incredibly thankful, proud. Again, you judge a tree by its fruit, and the fruit in this business is winning. The fruit at this school is, being in the conversation and having a season that's, worthy to talk about. And again, still haven't done anything, quote unquote, but we've built on a really good foundation, and all of our best days are sitting in front of us still, and still haven't played our best 4 quarters of football. And it's like, well, when that's going to happen, I don't know. I can't say. I wish I could, but when we do that, and we've been really good here these last several weeks at taking care of the football, and certainly we weren't tonight, but good enough in the other areas where we were able to overcome it. But yeah, very, very proud and thankful.
Payne Bowen's interception looked like he was really watching the quarterback's eyes, and he knew right where he was going to put it.
Yep.
And so I just want to ask you, what about Payne Bowen makes him have such a good knowledge of where a quarterback is going to put it?
Yeah, he's got tremendous ball skills and instincts, get just a natural feel for the game in the spots where he can come under a route or, stay on top of it and go over the top. He's got a real knack instinctually for that.
As he turned in high school, he kind of was whatever you needed, he gave it to you. As he kind of turned to that guy here in his third year?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, he's playing with great confidence. He's having Coach Chavis spoke to the guys last night. I've had coaches that I want the players to hear from. There's a lot of good, strong wisdom, in our on our coaching staff, and so I'll pick a couple of coaches every week to have something to say to the guys and challenge them, but or maybe affirm, the team in some kind of way. But he chose different guys, but he brought up Peyton, and brought up maybe some of the frustration of the season that he had a year ago, being banged up, and just kind of an uneven season after a pretty good start as a true freshman. And but how proud, and just what of an impact that he's had, this year. Leadership, couldn't lead, a year ago, and as a freshman, he's always been a great, human being, but he wasn't able to lead. Man, he has been an assassin. I think he learned a lot from Billy, and he and RJ together, man, they bring out the best in each other. They've done an amazing job, with that back seven from a leadership standpoint, and but playing his best ball, since he's been here, without question.
Last question. I think Fabechi's the only offensive lineman you guys have had that's played in every game the last 2 years. What does it say about him to step in and play center today? And how's Jake doing?
Is that crazy? This is just like one more thing. I just laugh. I'm like, it's right on time. And yeah, man, it says everything. And of course, he won our Donkey Award along with Owen a week ago, and where he's at this year compared to where he was a year ago. Leadership, confidence, the ability to go play two positions, his durability, toughness, things he says to the team nonstop, challenging the defense, challenging the offense, the growth of all the young guys around him. Man, it's all through his spirit, through his leadership. He's been fantastic. And for him to be able to slide over there and play center, starting in fall camp, Bill started, repping him there, just in case. And then certainly Troy got hurt. And, you only have so much tread on the tire. So it's like, well, half the practice you play center, half the practice you play guard. You can't do that. So he spends a lot of time from a fundamental standpoint doing the things after practice, consistently. So just in case an emergency, and certainly he did it at a high level. I don't think they had any sacks, very few tackles for loss, and we almost had 400 yards of offense. He's doing something. He touches the ball every snap. So you can't not touch the ball every snap and have, impact and influence on the game. So fantastic job. Really proud of him. And Jake, he had an infection, and it was really pretty scary. I don't know if it was staph or whatever, but, he was in the hospital for a few days, and he's much better now. And, so we'll see where he's at here shortly.
Does a coach sleep well?
I'm sorry?
Does a coach sleep well knowing you got a new center before the game?
I slept amazing last night. The last month I've had this crazy piece, and I think we put the work in, and then I've got amazing, locker room. These guys are prepared, excited to compete. They deeply care, and I can say the same thing about our staff. And, you can't have success without adversity. That kind of goes without saying. But when you're prepared for that adversity, you're not surprised or overwhelmed by it. And just the toughness of this team helps me sleep well. And what they do all week helps me sleep well. And so does cherry juice. You take a couple cherry juices before you go to bed. Huh?
Tart cherry juice?
Yeah. It's a natural sleep remedy. Not that I'm looking to, but they give it to the players. I'm like, what's that for? Between kiwi and the fruit kiwi and cherry juice. So I'm all into the natural stuff. So well rested. All right, Boomer Sooner.